What up, people? It's Consequence Hills here. I'm just doing a video on tip baiting. I've seen recent articles and stuff, and on the news stuff been releasing um, stories about tip baiting, and it's tip baiting is actually isn't a new practice per se, but it's gotten more spotlight. It's getting noticed more since the Instacart platform has changed. In the recent weeks or so or months. Um, for those who are new to doing Instacart or whatever, you just started like a week ago, a month ago or so. Um, at one point, Instacart was different the way how they done things, or the way how the app worked and stuff. I'm not necessarily like a so-called seasoned veteran, been ones that been doing it 5 years and all like that, but I'm not necessarily new to it. I've just made like a year doing Instacart about a couple of days ago, so I'm not like I say, I'm not necessarily the most seasoned person, but I'm not necessarily new either. So in saying that, when I started doing it back a year ago, I remember in the app, you could set your hours and stuff like that, and then basically what you do is, and like I say, this is for the people who's new, who just started, who may not know about this. Um, in the app, you would go and you would go and you could set your hours, and they had on demand. At least for the zones that I was doing and everything, I can't see if that it was like that all the way for everywhere, but for at least where I was doing it, they gave you the option to just be on demand. Basically, you go out to the area, and if there's an order come up, you can accept it, or you can select hours and be on and be doing Instacart for a certain amount of hours. You can say, okay, I'm doing it 2 to 5 or 2 to 6 or whatever the case may be. During those times when if you chose to do the hours, what would happen is that the app will ding your phone, and it'll be like, okay, this is an order you can accept, and it'll give you for like 3 or 4 minutes to look over the order and accept it or whatever. The thing with that was that if you didn't like the order, you can choose not to take it, but you can only do that a certain amount of times. I think it was like 3 times before they clock you out, and you had to go and clock back in and stuff. It was crazy how it had it set up. But back to what I was saying with the tip baiting thing, that's always been a practice, but I believe more so it hasn't been as noticeable as it is now, being that the platform has changed. And basically what tip baiting is that the customer will place the order, and they will put this extremely high tip in to entice the shopper to go out and take the order, because people will go in there, look, and they'll say, oh man, $80 order just came up, man, let me hurry and go and take that before someone else takes it. But when you look at that order, out of that $80, it will be $20 Instacart payment and $60 tip. The problem with taking those kind of batches is that tip amount can be changed. It's not something set in stone. Like, the customer can go back up to 3 days and change that amount. So the problem with those batches is that, let's say you take that batch and you base it enough for, oh man, I'm going to get $80 if I do this batch, and you complete the batch and everything, you might potentially come back and might only get $25 or so, $20 or whatever, and then now you're looking back in your app, and you're like, okay, it's your earnings, and you're looking like, what happened to this $80 that I was supposed to be getting? And the customer wound up altering the tip amount. So my suggestion would be to look at the artist first and say, okay, hey, this estimated payment amount is extremely high. Like, it's extremely high. Like for example, like I said before, you have an order come and be $80, and 20 something of that, 20 something dollars of that order is Instacart payment, and 60 something dollars of that payment is the customer tip. I would be leery to go ahead on and take that. What I do personally, when I'm looking at batches, I'm looking at when one comes up, I look at that base pay, that where they see Instacart payment on that. I look at that amount and I say, and I ask myself, would I be able to do this batch, or would it be financially feasible, or would it make sense for me to do this batch off of this Instacart payment, and not off of the tips. And if it isn't, I don't take the batch. So basically, what I'm saying is that I go into it when I accept the batch. I go into it with the mindset that, hey, I'm only guaranteed this Instacart payment. So I'm looking at the mileage, how far it is, and everything. And let's say that $8 batch was, I don't know, roughly 15 items, and it was 2 miles up the street or whatever, something like that. It was real close. I'll say, okay, hey, I would do for $20. I would do get these 15 items right quick and go 2 miles up the street. That's right up the way for $20, and disregard the other 60. But it's not necessarily guaranteed that the customer would go ahead on and retract that tip amount, because I've seen times personally with myself that I've done an order and the customer actually increased their tip in the app. Like, I've seen them increase it by $10, $15, or something like that. So it's not guaranteed that they will take that money back, but at the same time, it's not guaranteed that they will keep it there. So I would not base me doing an order or taking a batch off of an amount that's solely lies in the hands of the customer. Yeah, like I said, that's mostly all I can think of with the tip baiting thing. Like I said, I've done this video because I've been aware of it, but I haven't been seeing like a lot of other YouTubers, whoever, doing a video on this tip baiting thing. Like I said, I think one of the reasons why some of the customers are doing this or resorting to it is because their orders are sitting there because they're being packed up. And in some places, you have people that aren't doing as much shopping as they were before all the stuff popped off and everything. I mean, maybe like even the Instacart shoppers, you may not have as many of them doing it because of the fact that they may not want to risk going out there or something like that. And it's known amongst the Instacart community that Instacart has been backed up with the artists and stuff like that, because you have that on top of actual people who are supposed to be who would normally get up and go to the store. They're not going to the store because they're quarantined, or they're inside because they have older relatives living with them, or they're seeing themselves and they don't want to risk going out there. So that's what's happening, that a lot of the orders are being backed up. So some of the customers are trying to entice people to get it by putting this huge tip amount on there and stuff, and hoping that someone would go ahead and accept it and take their order. But yeah, that's mainly what it is. I kind of see in my zone that I'm doing now, which is close to where I live, where before all this started off, the zone itself was like basically a ghost town. You could get like maybe one order, 2 orders maybe in a week done or whatever. That would be the most that would come up. The minute when this popped off or whatever, you getting 10, 20 orders and stuff. You're getting multiple orders coming to your phone a day. So I believe that's happened everywhere, that Instacart's so backed up that that they're just slinging the orders out, and at the same time customers are waiting to get their orders or whatever. So they're sitting there and they putting in these high tip amounts to entice people to go or whatever and take their order. So yeah, that's basically what it is. I plan on doing more videos on this Instacart thing and everything. This is a start or one of my first video doing or whatever. Like I said, I've been watching other people doing their videos and stuff, and they haven't been talking about certain things, and certain things that they have mentioned on their videos, I will do videos and talk about it, give my twist or my take on it where I live at and things like that. If you have any ideas or whatever for videos or anything, you have any questions or whatever, you're a new Instacart shop or whatever, you can leave the comments down below in this video. Or if you have an idea for a video or whatever, or you want me to talk about something, you can also leave that down in the comment section or whatever. Like I said before, I do plan on doing more videos in the future on this Instacart thing.